So, Nightmare from Fnaf versus Freddy Kruger from Nightmare on Elm Street. Right off the bat, Nightmare is quite a bit bigger. He can be anywhere from 7 to 15 feet, depending on how you want to scale his height, whether you want to do it by actual gameplay or by official artwork. Because in gameplay, he seems to only be 7 to 8 feet, whereas in official artwork, he's almost twice the height of Nightmare Fredbear, who is roughly 7 to 8 feet. He can potentially be up to 16 feet, or even taller, according to some other fan art, or not fan art, I mean official art, where he is pretty much just colossal in size. It's absurd. Ultimately, for this fight, I'm assuming he's somewhere in between at around 10 feet, but he could be much shorter or much higher, depending on how you want to do that. In terms of official scaling, he is pretty damn powerful. Since he's a stand-in for Golden Freddy, you can assume he's on a pretty similar level. And yes, I know he was sent to hell and technically controlled by Golden Freddy and Ultimate Custom Night, but then again, I feel like he could have just broken out, and he just didn't want to. Now, even if you want to assume he was just an illusion in Fnaf 4, as of now, he is officially a real character and he can exist in the real world via Ultimate Custom Night. And since Fnaf World is a thing, he has some extra abilities, including poison and some weather control. He can enter his own variant of the Dream Realm, basically a nightmare dimension that he has almost complete control over. And although he was technically bested by a kid, so was Freddy, so, you know. Also, I mean, it's kind of implied the kid dies at the end of the game anyways, so. Glitch out electronics, he can move so fast the human eye can't even process him, like any other animatronics. And he's apparently just invisible to some cameras, because reasons, I guess. He also might be strong enough to push back a steel door, we don't actually know. Pretty dangerous weaponry, including his long claws, which could easily tear through human flesh. His double jaws, which are much sharper than Fredbear's, and Fredbear could already bite through a child's skull, so it's very possible he could do the same to an adult, or possibly even just bite through metal. He can cause hallucinations, much like Springtrap and Golden Freddy. He has some ghost abilities, being a supernatural entity, and can do a lot of mind tricks and illusions as well. Well, that his speed could potentially scale to the older animatronics, who are just absurdly fast when running. So potentially give him some of these supernatural abilities other Nightmare and Nightmare-like animatronics have, which would include stuff like pyrokinesis, lasers, night vision, and tentacles. Although I'm not going to give him all of those for this fight, because you'll see in a second that he doesn't really need them. Freddy is obviously a lot smaller than Nightmare, but he's pretty comparable in strength, able to easily overpower most people relatively effortlessly. In the Dream Dimension, he's basically a god. Since Nightmare cannot technically sleep, there's no way he's going to fight him there unless Nightmare drags him into it himself, which is unlikely if he knows what Freddy Kruger is. On top of that, his claws cut through people like paper. Freddy is also capable of shape-shifting, has god-level powers in the Dream Dimension, and is way more experienced than Nightmare at killing people. He also has a much bigger kill count, obviously. He was empowered by Dream Demons, which could potentially put him above Nightmare just because he's powered by several, and Nightmare is basically just a Dream Demon. Other than, again, if you argue the Dream Demons are way stronger than him, which they probably are, then Nightmare could also just be argued to be stronger by that logic. But who actually wins this? Well, I'm going to come out right out and say it. Nightmare from Fnaf probably wins this pretty easily. And here are the reasons why. Number one, the fight's probably going to take place in the real world. And by that logic, Nightmare, the likely physically stronger of the two, is going to basically do to him what Jason did to Freddy when Freddy vs. Jason. So this time he's getting mauled by a giant robot bear and not a guy in a hockey mask. On top of that, Nightmare has been shown to infect other people's realms, whereas Freddy has been shown to have trouble against more powerful beings' realms. It's why he's not very powerful in Dead by Daylight compared to the entity. Whereas Nightmare can affect stuff in Fnaf World, he can even control weather within other entities' realms, which is pretty impressive. He could also do that in the real world, apparently. So, in the real world, not only could he summon a massive storm to just massacre Freddy, he could also just poison him, slash him around like he's a ragdoll, throw him through a wall, kick him so hard he goes flying through a stone wall. Freddy can't really do anything. His claws probably bounce right off Nightmare. If he tried to punch him, his fist would probably break. He's physically stronger in a person, not a arguably 16-foot tall robot bear monster that can flip cars. So yeah, if you're wondering how this would go within a dream dimension, well, Freddy definitely has an edge at first. However, since Nightmare has arguably just as much control and can infect other people's realms pretty easily, plus he could probably just exit it at will. It's never officially stated he can do that, but it's pretty implied. It's never stated he can't, at least. On top of all that, even if we just use only Fnaf 4 Nightmare and assume he is a real thing in Fnaf 4, he could probably beat Freddy 9 times out of 10. If we're adding in Fnaf World, as well as fan theories about what Nightmare is and scaling to other characters like Golden Freddy, he is stomping the just shit out of Freddy, like no issue whatsoever. So that's how I see this fight going down. If you disagree, well, comment why. If not, please like the video, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you guys in the next one.